to tell us about one that's about to happen is Brian Sowards.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark. Are you guys ready to ignite Wilmington? Come on. Give it up. Let's go. Thank you so much, Lee, and the team has put this together. My name is Brian Sowards, and I've got a question for you. What Delaware is? Well, you know, we tell everybody this. It's halfway between Philadelphia and Baltimore, right? The great thing about living in Delaware is it's so close to everything else. I mean, it's in the middle of it all. The problem with that is, well, so are a bunch of other places, as evidenced by the yellow blob on the screen that I'm waiting for still to show up. There it is. I think Delaware has so much more to offer you, it has so much more to offer me, it has so much more to offer the world than just being close to what everyone else has to offer. But I didn't always know this. My name is Brian Sowards, as you know. I was born in Wilmington, Delaware, grew up in Newark, and I'm telling you the story of how I rediscovered Delaware. And yes, my parents nicknamed me Rooster for obvious reasons. See, my earliest memories from childhood of Delaware, you know, the Delaware spirit, the one that I can really pinpoint is when we come back from a really long trip. We were crossing over the Delaware Memorial Bridge, and I saw the twin-span bridges just, you know, ascending above me, and as soon as we crossed the state border, I could feel it. Business as usual. I mean, this state was so boring. It was so provincial. Everyone was so polite. No one wanted to take any risks. It seemed like the whole state was just determined to get that marble countertop on the McMansion on the golf course somewhere below the canal when they, you know, retired. And that's just not what I wanted out of life. I was a creator. I was an entrepreneur. I was an inventor. I was an artist. I wanted to be where things were happening. I wanted to make things happen. I wanted to take risks and live an adventure. And so for me, I did what every other, you know, former University of Delaware student did, by and large. I moved away. I went to a big city. In this case, it was the San Francisco Bay Area. Now, I loved San Francisco Bay Area. I met people from all over the world. I got to act in an independent movie, work in an art gallery, and eventually collaborate with entrepreneurs on this emerging thing called the internet. Turns out, my story is pretty common. You see, the truth of the fact is that Delaware has this amazing ability to bring people here, and we really suck at keeping them here. And I wanted to know what the answer to this problem was. I mean, it would be really great to be able to explain, why is it that so many people come and they leave? So I asked the oracle of the universe, Google, why is it that people leave Delaware? Sure enough, Delaware is boring. And we all kind of feel that, right? I mean, to a certain extent, under our hectic enthusiasm, part of what brings us here, we all sort of feel like we're on the edge of Delaware slipping into oblivion. And maybe, if we don't just make this place exciting, it's just going to fade away. But what I learned is that where I lived in Berkeley and Wilmington are actually similar in terms of income, education, diversity, even median age. And for me, I wanted to bloom where I was planted, like so many of you, so I wanted to bring some excitement here. In my case, it was the feature film industry, and what I learned is that producers have been trying to do it for years. In fact, 2 of those movies are Academy Award-winning movies from last year set in Wilmington, Delaware. When I told the Tourism Alliance this, you know, the group responsible for promoting the state of Delaware to the world, they asked me, why would anyone want to come to Delaware? See, and that's when I realized, it's not that Delaware's boring. It's not that we're provincial. It's not that we're even been short-sighted. It's that we don't realize what we have, and more importantly, we're not telling the world what's going on. It's not that we have not got exciting things going on here. It's not that we can't have a great life. It's just that, for the most part, for some reason, our culture just doesn't realize it here. And that's when I had an insight about my own upbringing. You see, I'm not a black sheep of Delaware. The truth is, my artistry got developed at the Music School of Delaware. I learned to make friends from all different backgrounds in the baseball field of Barksdale Park. The small business loan that WISPAS gave to my dad nurtured my entrepreneurial spirit. I am Delaware, and guess what? So are you. I am done with this idea that somehow we're trying to change Delaware. You are Delaware, and let me tell you how far back it goes, all the way to the beginning. Because the Kalmar Nickel, a ship that rivals the history of the Mayflower, brought not religious refugees, not gold prospectors who went to Virginia, but entrepreneurs from many different backgrounds, including the first African to step foot on this soil as a free person. That's the history that we have here. And so I have a cautionary tale for you. How is it that with such an amazing story, we've lost it. And for this I turn to the parable of Dr. Seuss. You see, there was an elephant who found a flower, and on the flower was a speck, and on that speck was a whole village of people, but they were in danger of being lost. In fact, they were in danger of being destroyed. And it wasn't until they, as an entire village, together, in unison, cried out, "We are here, we are here, we are here," that they were saved. In this case, what we're really talking about is, well, it's the Delaware social media, led by Ken Grant. Get out there and let people know what's exciting in Delaware, what you love about it, because they need to hear it online, and they need to hear it in your neighbors. And I'm going to start with you. Something that's going on that I've discovered in Delaware personally, that I'm very excited about, is the Delaware Theater Company. I've had just amazing experiences there. Emotional, entertaining, made me laugh, made me cry. Tonight, after Ignite, is the Fousey, where Tim Burton meets Monty Python. It's off kilter. Basically, you've got a bunch of puppets that invade a play. There's going to be food there, there's going to be alcohol. Join me and discover one more exciting reason it is to live in a place called Delaware.